Hello, and welcome to Retro Tech Repair. My last few videos have been for me what were quite complicated repairs, so I thought for the next couple of videos I'd concentrate on some easier fixes. We're still going to be repairing a retro electronic game that I bought on eBay, spares or repair, but we're going to be concentrating on simpler repairs that need only a few simple tools. So let's get started. Hello, today we're going to be looking at the TomyTronic Thundering Turbo. This is a 3D game. You look through here like not dissimilar to the way you'd look at a Viewmaster, if you remember those from back in the day. I remember those. I bought this used on eBay. It was £11, which was probably a little bit too much, but I just really wanted one of these for some reason. I really wanted to see how they worked. It is faulty, at least it was advertised as faulty. And unfortunately I don't have the listing to show you because it's a little while ago since I bought this. And because it's a while since I bought it, the listing has now disappeared off eBay and I can't show you it. It's not in bad condition, a little bit of surface scratching. All the lettering seems to be in place, which is quite nice. Be careful we maintain that when we clean it up. No cracks or anything like that, maybe a little bit yellowed, I don't know how it would have been originally, and a few scuffs on it. But overall, it's in pretty nice condition. So it was advertised as not working. Let's pop some batteries in and see if indeed that is the case. Now, of course, oh, actually, look at that. The first thing I notice is that there's a lot of corrosion on these battery terminals. This might be a very easy fix. That could be the problem right there. We'll slide some batteries into it anyhow. But it was advertised as not working, but it looks like maybe, I'm not saying that's all the problem, but it could be some of the problem. And it takes 3 AA's. And I've never had one of these. Often wanted one, never had one. And let's turn it on and see what happens. Nothing. I know they have sound effects. There's nothing happening. And I'm sure you won't be able to see if I hold that up like that. No, we'll have to find another way of filming it. But if I look through it, I see the 3D image. It's kind of a 3D image that's always there, a backdrop or a wallpaper if you like, but there's no electronic activity at all. So I think the first thing to do before we even open this up though is to clean up those battery contacts and see if that in of itself just makes the difference. So I have these little metal brushes or little pens. This is a fiberglass one, and then there's a brass one, and there's a steel one. I'm going to use these to clean these up. I think I'm going to use the brass one just to try and clean off this surface corrosion. And that is, it is coming, but it's slow. Maybe I need to move to the steel. That seems more effective. I did scrape at these quite a lot, and they're a bit cleaner, but they're still really not as clean as I would like them to be. So what I'm going to try and do, in some ways I should probably put them in a vinegar bath or something, but that would require me to unsolder everything from inside. So I don't know what's inside there yet. So what I'm going to try and do is just put some vinegar on some of these terminals here. Probably do one side at a time like this, and just let them sit a minute. I'll try and keep them wet. This is, I'll bring this into shot. This is just white vinegar, and I've got a Q-tip or a cotton bud that I'm putting on there. And we're going to let that react a minute. See if it cleans up our battery terminals. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so here we are inside. I think I might just unsolder these 2 tabs here, and then we can get in there, we can get some vinegar on these battery terminals and get those properly cleaned up. So let's go ahead and do that. There we are. Okay. So we'll set that aside a minute and we'll give these battery terminals a good coating of the vinegar. Hopefully then that will get rid of the residual corrosion that was too hard to remove with the mechanical mechanisms there. So I have put some on already. I'm going to put a load more on now. We can be more generous with it because we're not going to damage any of the electronics within. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to come back and keep reapplying that over the next few minutes. In the meantime, let's take a look what's inside of here. And we have what looks like one IC, some resistors, some ceramic capacitors, and a couple of diodes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick shot a bit closer up of this, because what I have found is that sometimes the part numbers are labeled on the board, like this example here, and other times they are not. So it can be quite useful. If you have a different version of this game, I might find at some point in the future the values aren't marked on it. So I'm going to keep this as video footage to show us what values those parts are, in case I have a similar game where the printed circuit board is not marked with the values. So let's take a quick look inside of here. I think actually from when I read about these on Wikipedia, it might be 2 LCDs or maybe one LCD with 2 sides to give that kind of stereoscopic 3D game. Yes, it looks like it's one panel. And then you see in here we have a lens. Looks like a glass kind of prism. Well, it probably isn't a prism, but a glass mirror there just to reflect that. And then the kind of binocular arrangement here. All a little bit dirty. I want to get something soft to clean those up. In the meantime, I'll just apply a little bit more vinegar. Then we'll get something soft to clean those up. We'll take one more glamour shot of this to make sure I have all of the parts that I can possibly get noted there. And so you can take a look also. And then it looks like this lifts out. There's a piezo sounder beneath. And in fact, the switches the other half of the IC, and there's nothing else on the back of the board other than the switches there. Okay, so I keep taking some vinegar on a Q-tip, cotton bud, just applying it to our battery terminals here. They're starting to clean up. I don't think without soaking them we're going to get them shiny clean again, but I have a high confidence we'll get them conducting as they need to make contact with the battery. In the meantime, I'm going to take some IPA, isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to finish cleaning off these battery contacts switch contacts. And I'm going to take a little bit and apply to the carbon pill. I don't want to do too much of this because I'm always nervous that I will bring off the conductive material. So far I haven't, but that doesn't mean to say that one day it won't happen. So I'm going to be cautious with that. Just a quick wipe over here. Right, well, we'll get this back assembled. Hopefully, when our battery contacts have soaked a little more in the vinegar, we should be ready to play this game. So as we fast forward through the reassembly of the game here, I wanted to ask you a favor. If you're enjoying the content today, if you could hit subscribe, that would be amazing. And if you have any comments on the content, I'd love to see your comments in the comments section below. Now, let's get back to the repair. Okay, so we've got it back together. We'll make sure the sound is on so you can hear if it's working. When I go to play it, you won't be able to see. I will figure out a way to film some of it if it does work. At the moment, I haven't worked out what that's going to be. Here's our battery terminals. It's not spotless, but it's certainly much cleaner. Oh, that's promising. We had a beep. Okay. And on. Left, right, start. Hey! Well, that's working, but you can't see it, but I can. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to clean up the outside a little bit, and then I'm going to try and figure out a way to film this. So I apologise in advance for the quality of this video, What I've done is I've taped my mobile phone onto the game. I've tried my best to block out some of the light from the side and yet still allow light in. I can't really play it like this. As I move, it unfortunately moves it around, but I'll cut to some of the video that I'm taking on my phone. You'll be able to at least see roughly how the game is played. And that just about wraps it up for our TomyTronic 3D Thundering Turbo for today. We have lots more repairs to come, more tabletop arcade games from the 80s, and some vintage computers and consoles from around the same time too. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Repair. Hi, what's inside here? That could be a problem. Just the joystick works as it should. Great. Again. Oops. Select. I don't know if that's skill level or number of live around. I have it in a couple of places and then it stops. Grandstand scramble. Wonderful. Looking forward to fixing that.